friends, in this video we will be going to tell about the one of the important concept, that is what is called threading and thread. So what will happen? Suppose you have any process in your system. So one process has to do multiple things. So when all these things are running simultaneously, concurrently in a system, then each of them is called thread. Each of them is called thread. For example, if you are using Excel or any Word type thing, so when you are writing, this is one work writing. Simultaneously there will be a spelling check happen. Okay. Simultaneously text formatting happen. If you have set any type of formatting to your Excel or Word, text formatting happen. These three work happen simultaneously, means concurrently, and these one of them is called thread. I hope you understand what is thread. So how the thread is different from the process you said. So basically, if you have a single thread, means single process, and you have a multiple thread. So what the actual difference? In single process, every process has their ID, and each process has their private address space. Okay. If there are two processes like this, then each one have their own private address space. But if there is a process that has a multiple threading, what will happen? A process has a multiple threading. Okay. Thread 1, thread 2, thread 3, and each of them has a single address space. Okay. Address space. But just like each process had their own program counter, and it save its data into the PCB, so that if there will be any context switching happen between the process 1 to process 2, so that the process know where to start with the help of a program counter, and these details are saved in the PCB. So if there are three thread in the process, if there will be a switching between the thread 1 to thread 2, if suppose this process gets switched off, or if the thread 1 has to switch to thread 2, so they save their own information in the program counter, and each thread had their own program counter, and that will be saved in the TCB. I hope you understand. Here each process has their own program counter, but in the multi-threading, each thread has its own program counter, and these details will be saved in the TCB. I hope you will understand. So you will be asking, is the memory requirement is same as single process? No. In single process, you know that there will be a code, then heap, then stack. But in multiple threading, as this is the same process but having multiple threads, so each thread has their own written value, own functional parameter. So the stack number is equal to the number of thread. So suppose a process has a 2 thread, so there will be 2 stack, but the code of process and heap of process will be the same. There will be only one code and only one heap. I hope you understand what's the difference between a one single thread process and what is the multiple thread process different. Why we will use it, and what will be the thread. Now the question arises, why will we use it? The first and obvious reason is to achieve the concurrency. Suppose you have the multiple thread in a process, so you can do the multiple things at the same time, so the concurrency happen. And again, second thing is to avoid context switch. Suppose you have a one single process. Okay. Now when the process go for IO, what will happen? The context switch happen, because the CPU do not want it to become ideal, so next process come, and this will happen multiple time of context switching. But if there will be a multiple thread, what will happen? If there will be one thread which has a do the some IO work, then the CPU can do the work of the second thread or the third thread. So in the case of IO, the less number of contexts which happen if there will be a multiple threading process. And second obvious reason will be the achieve the concurrency. I hope with this example you understand why we need the thread, and in thread how the thread memory will be different than the memory of single process. What is the difference between these two things, the memory requirement, and why we use the thread. We use the thread to achieve the concurrency. In single process we can do the multiple things simultaneously. As I give you the example of Excel, you can do the writing, spelling checking, and formatting simultaneously. I hope with this example you understand what is threading, why we do it. We will meet in the next video with the next concept of lock. Till then, goodbye.